A powerful spiritual force pulsates all around us, offering energy and meaning to our daily lives. If we can meet the challenge of this force, our lives will expand in joy, peace, and fulfillment. The Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living and the Ministry of Dr. Moira Foxe presents Living Ideas. The power of new thought based on the dynamic principles of science of mind as taught by Dr. Moira Foxe. These programs are presented in order that we encompass the mastery of well-directed faith based on the inner conviction that we are surrounded by an intelligent law which does unto each of us as we believe.
So here we all are, and it's a wonderful place to be. Because we show up here so that we can be more of ourselves. We show up here so that we can move deeper and higher and wider into our purpose, so that we can live lives of consequence, wonderful consequence. And so today we're looking at desire, but we're looking at the desire in a very specific way. Desire covers a multitude. My goodness, you could go on forever and a day with regard to desire, but we're looking at it with regard to the desire for success. Because desire for success, I would say, 99.9% of us embrace in some way or another. And so we have to look at that and see what it does for us and where we are with it. So we're looking at it in that specific way. And when you look at desire, in the dictionary, it's defined as a strong feeling to have something or to achieve something. And when you look at success, it says the accomplishment of something, a desire, a goal, something, the accomplishment of that. And so we're looking at those two things together. And the examples they give with regard to accomplishment are things like fame and fortune and so on. And so we're looking at, of course, at this whole perspective from a metaphysical or a spiritual point of view. We're looking at a different kind of definition when it comes to success. And the definition that we're looking to is an understanding for the spiritually realizing person, for the truth student, that success must be defined within the confines of significance. Significance. What we're endeavoring to be is to be significant. And you cannot embrace significance without success. But you can be successful without significance. And there is a difference. Now, the way society seems to define success is through accomplishments, is indeed through rank and fortune and status. Society defines success through, you know, how much you've accumulated, how well known you are, what your pedigree is, and so on and so forth, with regard to your status in the community. And so it has a lot to do with, you know, how many, you know, how many credentials we have, and so on and so forth. And it's society across the board, not just the Hollywood fame or the sports star fame, but, you know, it's the collegiate fame and so on and so forth. Social status and so on. And that's a great emphasis in our society in particular. So we're looking at it differently. We know that we need a new definition of success. That the definition of success for us has to include more than all of stuff and things, really, and material goods and so forth. And very often, you know, when people have succeeded greatly with regard to the accumulation of wealth and status, and they find themselves on that mountaintop and they look down over the valley, there's a terrible sense of emptiness within them at times, and they think to themselves, well, what went wrong? There has to be more. This can't be just it. And very often that feeling comes out of the fact that the success was pursued without any real, thorough commitment to significance. Because you see, we all want our lives to mean something, to add up to something. That's what we all want. And when we as metaphysicians or truth students or spiritually realizing individuals come to look at success, we're looking at it from a much more holistic perspective. We're looking at success as excellence in a work that we love, a work that's making a difference. We see it as well-being, the accomplishment of a well-being. We see it as the ability to make a difference, to put back, to give, to contribute, to impact life from an affirmative side, from the perspective of commitment and service and the giving of ourselves out in our endeavor to spirit realize, to life realize, to God realize. We see our success very much entrenched in significance. And if you want to really get a sense of that, look to eulogies. Look to your own eulogy. When the time comes for people to be celebrating, you know, your life, and to be remembering all the things about you, what is it they're going to be remembering? Will they be thinking of you in terms of somebody that's made a beautiful difference while here on this plane? Somebody that gave of themselves, somebody who was kind, somebody who was compassionate, somebody who was generous, somebody who was always, in some way or another, there for you when you needed it. Somebody who gave of their time, their energy, their treasure, their talent. Somebody who truly was a success in life. And so we look at it from those perspectives. We look at success as having achieved enough, and out of the enoughness there was plenty to give from and share from, like the 12 baskets of good that are left over in the lives of those who show up to live in significance, who are seeking significance rather than success. And that's where we're coming from in our pursuit of success. We're not pursuing success per se, we're pursuing significance. And again, I will state, you cannot live a life of significance without it being a success. Without it being a success. And so in order to be as giving as we can be, as impactful as we can be, we need to have an abundance in our lives so that we can share from that abundance. And an abundance all round. I'm not just talking about money, although money is a very significant and important part of our well-being and our abundance. And it's never about the accumulation of money for money's sake, or the accumulation of more money just to have more money. It's always about having more resources to be able to help other lives with, so that we can impact other lives to be able to live significantly too, and then to go forth and share from that significance and help other people to do likewise. It's a rippling thing. We are into that rippling thing. We want to empower others so that they become empowered within themselves sufficiently to go out and empower others so that they can be sufficiently empowered within themselves to go out and empower others. You see the way it works? That's what we're about. That's what a truth student is about. It's never about drawing to myself all of this abundance and sitting on it and contemplating how well we feel because we've achieved so much. It's not about that. It's never about that. It's about the flow of life. It comes in and it goes out. It comes in and it goes out, and it comes in and it goes out. It's not supposed to come in and stop here. It's supposed to flow back out again. And as I get in touch with that rhythm of life, it becomes bigger and deeper and higher and wide, and more comes in, and more goes out, and more comes in, more and more goes out. And you always have that sense of opulence and abundance and fullness and plenty and blessedness and blessedness. So that's what we're looking at this week when we come to look at what success is. So, you know, how are you doing with this thing called living your success? Are you living your success in life? That's the question we ask ourselves this week. How successful are we in our lives? And where is the success based? Is it based and steeped in significance? Because if it is, you're doing mightily and very well. Extremely well. But if it's not steeped in significance, there are going to be little clouds and pockets of discontent and so on all over the place with regard to your success. Because all that we have to give truly is the self of ourselves. Nothing else belongs to us. You think all those stuff and things belongs to us? No, it doesn't. It's going to be here after we're gone. We don't get to take any of that with us, but we do get to take ourselves with us. This spirit that I am is what is truly mine to give from. And I can give a superabundance from it because it is opulence in its essence, because it has available to it all the good there is, the good of the kingdom, available to it, that it can draw from, and never, ever, ever have to feel in need of any good thing, ever, if I'm in touch with the spiritual aspect of my being. If I am in touch with the interior aspect, the spiritual aspect of my being, I will indeed demonstrate success after success after success after success after success. Because the spiritual being sees nothing, only a fullness and a plenty and a wholeness, and has that holistic sense of life and living, and knows that any need that crosses its path it can meet, because that meeting of the need comes from other than the small self that we are. It comes from the great self within us. And if a need crosses our path, we can know we can meet it because of that which is indwelling us and that which is living our lives. How can we not be a success when our lives are being lived by something greater than we are? When our lives are being lived by the power and the presence that created us, by the fullness and the allness of life itself, how can our lives not be a success? We were born as success. We were created as success. To further succeed and move deeper and deeper into that awareness. But it's not going to happen if you and I are totally exteriorly focused. We have to go within. We have to know the inner indweller, the presence within us. And we have to know it intimately in a way that we trust it implicitly. And when we get there, and when we do that, our lives are really and truly blessed. Truly and really blessed. And we do come into contentment. And we do feel a sense of fullness. And we do feel a sense that we are given to, that we are indeed blessed. We do feel that all is well no matter what. And we know that good comes out of everything. Good comes out of everything. I sat and listened on Friday, I don't know when it was, someday over the weekend. I don't do well with time. Time just blends, one day morphs into the next, because I'm in the moment as much as I can be, so I don't care whether it's Monday or Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. I'm in the moment. And so, anyway, this young soldier was sharing how, because of Veterans Weekend, was sharing how at 18 she had signed up, she'd enlisted, and half kind of knew what she was doing and half didn't, and lo and behold, just as she enlisted, the Afghanistan situation happened, and she found herself suddenly on her way to Afghanistan at the age of 18. And and how scared she was, how frightened she was, but nevertheless she enlisted to do her duty, and her duty she would do. And off she went, and I think she was a part of the medical corps, I'm not sure. But when you see the good that comes out of everything, it's amazing. When you listen to her, you're in awe of her, and how her life gets so intrinsically linked with the people there that she is serving, the Afghans. She's there at the Afghanistani people, and especially the children, and how, not knowing the language, she learned to play with the children and have a relationship with the children and the people all around, and they would play tag and football and so on and so forth, and bringing smiles to lots of faces, and how they would all, you know, appreciate all that the, you know, that our people were doing for them while they were there. And she said it really surprised her when she was yanked out, when her time was up and she was coming home, just very recently coming home from Afghanistan, because thankfully our soldiers are coming home from, our service people are coming home from Afghanistan, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a warming thing. But she said she had to say goodbye to the children especially, and to the villagers. And she said, I wanted to cry, but I knew soldiers couldn't cry or shouldn't cry, and I didn't cry, but I wanted to cry because I really felt a wrench leaving these children and these people. And she said, we got on the plane, and all of us were just sitting on the plane in silence, you know. And then as the plane took off, her CEO nudged her and said, look out the window. And when they looked out the window, the villagers and the children were all waving American flags, you know. See, good comes out of everything. Good comes out of everything. Now, we don't hear too much about that side of it. We really don't hear too much about that side of it. But that side of it is there, and that side of it is happening. And that young woman felt that she was significant in what she was doing. She had a great sense of significance in the service that she was doing. And she was there much more to serve those people in a way that gave them hope, that gave them faith, that gave them trust that one day their lives would be indeed better, and better because they had been there amongst them. You see. So there is that side of the picture, and that's where I always go. I always go to that side of the picture, because I know deep down in my heart that there's good in the worst of us, and there's bad in the best of us, and all of the rest of us should be careful about the judgments we have of all of us. Really and truly, when you think about it. So we have equal opportunity to go into the dark side or into the light side. Equal and you know we do it. You know when you're in the dark side, and you know when you're in the light side. And I tell you, when you're used to being in the light side and you go into the dark side, even if it's only momentary, it's not a very pleasant experience, to say the least. And you feel it more deeply, and you feel it more intently, and you feel much more off than you ever might have imagined, because you're used now to being in the light side of life. And so, but it teaches us very valuable lessons that we have to keep on our guard. We have to keep focused. We have to keep centered on our decision and commitment to be significant. And that means to behave ourselves well. And you know that. And where did we get that ambition from, to succeed and accumulate all those things? We got it in our very early childhood, whether it was from within our own homes and our parents, whether it was from our teachers, or whether it was from the adults and our peers around us. It doesn't matter, but we got it. We learned at a very early age, you know, you've got to toe the line. You've got to be out there. You've got to be in it to win it. That's what you hear all the time. You've got to be in it to win it, as you hear today on these shows. Be in it, oh, he's in it to win it, she's in it to win it. And I'm thinking, well, would any of them be there if they didn't want to win it? But anyway, but you hear, you've got to succeed, you've got to get good grades, you've got to get first prize, you've got to be out there, you've got to be achieving, you've got to be accomplishments, so that you can get into a college of prestige, so that you can have a degree that really is worth something, so that you can get a really good job. And when you get the good job, so that you can get the significant title. And when you get the significant title, you can work your way up the ladder. When you work your way up the ladder to the top, be sure and collect all of those cars, and have the boat, and have the holiday home, and have the initials after your name, and have all of that, because that's what defines success in our society. Be sure and do that. And by the way, don't forget the diamonds. They're wonderful, and the gold too. And don't forget to have that huge bank balance no matter what. And when you leave this world, have a huge legacy to leave behind. Now that seems to be the order of things in a materialistic world, which many of us are really engaged in and involved in. But I'll bring it back to us, you in this room, me in this room, and the understanding that we are here to be significant and to accumulate all of the life force that we possibly can with one specific objective, and that is to share it and give it away. That's all, to share it and give it away. We are here to give of our talent, to give of our genius, to give of our precious time, to give of all that we have back into life that has given us so much, so that others can have the opportunity and the ability to accomplish and achieve what we have, a sense of significance. My dear ones, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, and with every tick, it brings us closer to our legacy being left behind. What is the legacy going to be? That's what we get to look at this week. That's what we get to ponder this week. Where is my thinking with regard to success? Is it steeped in significance? Are there any redefining terms that needs to happen in my life with regard to my desires, with regard to my goals, with regard to my ambitions? What do I need to do with that? That's given to us to do this week. And if we do that, we'll really be able to see maybe, oh, so that's why that didn't turn out so well, and maybe that's why this is not going so well, and maybe that's why I feel the way I'm feeling, and it's kind of ho-hum. So I can assure you, if you're living a significant life, you'll never feel ho-hum. You'll never feel iffy, and you'll never feel, just that sort of underwhelming feeling that we get at times. So I'm challenging myself, I'm challenging you, I'm challenging anyone in my path to think about significance this coming week and to make some resolutions as a result of that, and to commit to deeper and further significance in our lives. Are we on? Yes. Because I believe that we can grow as a result of it, we can expand as a result of it, and we can be the best of ourselves as a result of doing that. And after all, that's how Spirit sees each and every one of us, at our best. Sees us in our absolute, abundant, opulent beingness. Sees us as the apple of its eye, as the glory of life itself. Sees us as the pinnacle of life, as the light, as the truth, as the way of life. That's how Spirit sees you. Let us begin to see ourselves and each other likewise, yes? Yes. And so it is.
We invite you to experience Dr. Moira in person on Sundays. Our services are at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and childcare is available. Please join us. If you enjoy these messages and would like to make a donation to our center, please visit our website at redondocsl.org. Thank you for your support of this ministry.